So we're going to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the best president every time, the whole time. Best president ever took the House. And we're going to talk about Epstein files, but from a geopolitical Christian perspective. Um, I don't know about you guys, but if ever there's a list that I'm gonna tell you, hey, look, I'm gonna get that list. It's gonna be out there invisible, and then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck you, I ain't give you that list. I love Donald Trump. Think he's the best president ever. Best president ever. But somebody might be on that list. I mean, come on, guys. Let's not lie to ourselves. It's likely he flew on that plane with that man. Um, but we're going to talk to this. We're going to talk about this from a different perspective. It's geopolitical Christianity and apex human perspective. Hello, Noah. Welcome back. Welcome back. I just realized you're one of the youngins, so I perhaps need to cut back on the profanity. But I'm just going to use it, so cover your ears. I'll just give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or you can just tell when I'm about to hit an F-bomb or something like that. I mean, I don't need to use it, but I like to use it. But anyway, we're actually talking about something you probably don't want to watch. This is about the Epstein files and our precious president, Donald Trump. So, I don't know. Check in with your spirit. Check in with yourself. You may or may not want to hear this. And the truth is, I'm talking about objective morality. With the P. Diddy stuff and the Epstein-Winnie stuff and all these files and lists and bad guys and good guys. We're going to go after them and we're going to be the good guys. It just creates a world of adults in a mire, and adults are these beautiful little children, but they have this fixed perspective of life, God, and the world that limits their power, that limits their ability to create miracles, that limits their access to imagination and to flow. And so I was one of the lucky adults that had enough traumatic experiences that it broke me of my attachment to the fixed perspective of life. And so today we're going to talk about who are the secret lords of the earth and what's this whole Epstein thing about? Epstein Winnie. Why is Ghislaine Maxwell still alive or whatever her name is? I don't follow this stuff. I just see patterns and I just present them to you guys. So can our president, who was so gung-ho about getting that list out to people and saying, we're going to get these bad guys, we're going to put that list out there, can our president potentially be on that list? Could our president have been one of those people on that plane? It's highly likely. It's highly likely, highly possible. I still think he's a great president. I still think he's an awesome president. Would I have him babysit my 13-year-old, 14-year-old daughter? No. Would I have him run a country with an iron fist, potentially return some of the self-respect to the nation? Yeah, I would. Objective morality has righteous, intelligent selfishness at its core. God wants you to be selfish. Proof of that is the most intelligently selfish people are the winners in life. And it's hard to say because I thought I was a good person when I was self-sacrificing, when I was bending over backwards and forwards for people, right? And I realized that, 30 plus years of doing that did not actually result in the outcomes that I wanted. The outcomes that I wanted was peace, prosperity, happiness, purpose, the ability to live with purpose and share a beautiful message of hope, and not hope, but a message of inspiration and life and flow. And I can do that now. I'm doing it through YouTube and other medium. But I realized that I was sold a bill of goods. I wasn't taught the objective approach to morality. The true moral code is the code, law of the jungle. And people don't want to realize that. You just read the Bible. I didn't understand the Bible. And for the Christians, tighten your belts, tighten your boots, pull up your pants, because your pants obviously aren't around. What I'm saying is this is going to get rough. I didn't understand the Bible, the Holy Bible that we read, until I read the Satanic Bible. Yeah, I said it. I did not understand the real Bible until I read the Satanic Bible. And then I said, wait, what? When I was a kid, I noticed a lot of these things, but I kept blinding myself to it. I kept covering my eyes to it. Well, okay, well, let's do an etymological, exegetical, hermeneutical deep dive into the ancient, original cultural meanings of these words, of these phrases, of these idioms, of these colloquialisms. And then I started to realize, oh, wow, someone put rose-colored tinted glasses on my eyes and scratched them up and said, okay, we're going to tell you what you're looking at. When I removed those glasses and goggles, I started to see the world clearly. And I just started to realize, whoa, oh man, I have not been following what God wants me to do. Galatians 6:7 actually is true. Whatsoever man sows, that shall he also reap. Well, God was not like, when God says something, he doesn't do like your parents, your pastor, your police, your politicians. He doesn't go, it's true for only this time, and then on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, it's not true anymore, but then on Friday morning, it's really true. But then Saturday afternoon, we can just pretend like I never said it. God isn't like that. God is consistent. That is how you identify the source being and the source code and the power behind this whole simulation life thing that we're in. And so I wouldn't say live by the 11 satanic precepts. I think it's 9 or 11. I forget. It's been years since I read it. But I wouldn't say live by those precepts. But I would say understand them and say, wait a second, this is what's happening. Why am I? Oh, this is why I keep losing. And then go back to what Jesus was doing and Jesus was saying and what the prophets and the winners in the Bible were doing and saying. And you start to say, oh, if I was doing these things, I wouldn't be able to go to the gummy worm gospel church. And then I would be like rich and wealthy and purposeful and powerful. And then if I saw a child who was starving and dying of a disease, I could just pay for them to not starve and die of a disease anymore. I could just do that. It'd be easy. But no, we need to look at that child suffering and go, holy, holy, Lord Jesus, please, please, please. Apex Christianity is about what works. All right. Iron First Black Sabbath song. I love it. Yeah. Black Sabbath, one of the greatest groups of all time. Yeah. I think I said hi earlier, Noah. Hey, Bianca Games. Okay, hello, Bianca Games. That's an interesting name, Noah. Yeah, said hi. Said hi earlier. Sorry about the Noah. And welcome, Bianca. Thank you for joining. There's Bianca. Yeah, Bianca. That's a cool name, Bianca. It's, I think, help me with this, Bianca. I think Bianca means it's like Blanca, but it's like an old version of it that's like modernized or something. I should look it up. Anyway, so what about Epstein, Donald Trump, and the lords that rule the earth? The thing about these guys, Epstein, if he is dead, I don't think he is. I don't think he is. But let's say, okay, he is departed from this world. Excuse me. He's removed from the census. And there's a list floating out there on the ethernets with people's names on them. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm not convinced one way. I'm not impressed one way or another. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of people running around with their moralistic underwear pulled all the way up to their chin. Like, oh, I'm the moral king of the universe. You know, I'm not a rich ruler of the earth, and I'm not a bad person. Let's get that list and let's prosecute these bad people. Who knows what they were doing? You know, I never went to the island, but I can tell you this. You know, on that island, they may have been playing chess. They may have made up this whole story about kids and stuff like that just to get you guys all riled up so you could be locked in some psychological craziness out here in the gummy worm world while they over there writing the codes of reality. What do we know, right? What do you guys think? I know you're a kid, Noah, but I don't know. I hope you have done. Don't go down that rabbit hole, the whole Epstein stuff. This is probably just a stream for me to be weird and probably erase later. But, yeah. Moralism, guys. We got to throw it in the trash. Got to throw it in the trash. Moralism is destroying humanity, and it's doing it because this is the thing. Like, children are precious. My big thing is, like, how do we make this world work? We're never going to make a better world. Hitler tried that. See what happens when we try to make a better world? Let's stop doing that. Okay, guys? Let's stop doing that. Stalin tried it. You know, all these groups that have killed millions and millions of people have tried it. Let's just make a world that works. There's no morality there. There's no save the planet bullshit. There's none of this. whatever. We're going to catch all the Epstein people. No. Let's make a world that works. Okay, there's food over here, and there's starving kids like right next to it. Okay, so how do we build a bridge between the starving kids and the food? Oh, it's really easy. Stop throwing it in the trash can. Okay, there's a bunch of people who don't have homes right here. And then there's like a billion empty homes like right here. What do we do? It's not rocket science, people. Like, all the problems in the world are easily solvable. We could end hunger in two years. I mean, there are some people that are crazy that are never going to eat because they got psychological problems, but that's like 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of the population. They don't matter. But for everybody else who is hungry and just want food, like, we can solve that thing. You know, okay, we can solve that. I'm very fortunate. I come from a man who actually invented the prototype for the tractor. That was one of my ancestors on my father's side. So without that one device, so many famines and so much starvation never would have happened. There was a lot of people dying of famine in places like China and Russia. Of course, a lot of that was contrived by their governments. They were being killed off. But later on, we started to do massive agriculture and things like that, and it led to feeding of a lot of people. Now we can do better than that. And we can do much better than that. There are better systems in place where you can grow all the food of the world in a very small place inside of high-rise buildings in places like Manhattan and Miami and Singapore. All of it, all the food in the world, all, like, pretty much, other than meats. Meats you can do other things with, but we can end hunger. That's an easy thing to fix. Okay, what about shelter? Another easy thing. Almost every place on the planet where there are people, there's this stuff called dirt. You can use that to build sustainable places that people live in that last for thousands of years, that will not be destroyed by fire, hurricane, or earthquake. And they can go up in 3 months or a couple of weeks. I mean, guys, these are all solutions that are readily available. And if you're a child, a young person, and you're looking at the world, and I wouldn't say focus on the suffering of other humans. I mean, I think that's a waste of your time. Don't do that. Just make your life great. Have an exceptional life for yourself. But we all have access to freedom. Every single human being on planet Earth living right now can fit into this state of Texas with 1,000 square feet around them. 960 something square feet around them. 930 square feet around them. So we have plenty of land. We have plenty of resources. We have plenty of intelligent minds. There's so many children being born every single day with brilliant minds and lots of solutions and lots of hope and lots of imagination. We can make the world that works. Not trying to make a better world. I don't believe in such a thing. I don't think we're supposed to do that. We can make a world that works, and we can do it in 2 to 5 years max. 2 to 5 years. Cancer, we can get rid of that. That was cured in like 1930s or 40s. Look up Wilhelm Reich and several physicians who actually studied cellular biology and understood how to eradicate cancerous processes from the Bible, from the body, the Bible. I mean, if you're still in the chat, like, throw some problems that you think won't be solved unless a sky phantom Jesus comes out of the ethers and then says, oh, and then takes all the good people to heaven. Like, what's one problem in this world that can't be fixed, that cannot be fixed outside of him? I hope that's too many negatives in there. Let me fix that sentence better. What's one problem that humans cannot fix that only Jesus can fix? And I'm talking about a Jesus coming out of the sky, like a sky phantom Jesus. They teach you about in the Gummy Worm Church. The Gummy Worm Gospel. Crickets? I thought so. Oh, quickly type them. I thought so. There's not a single thing on this earth that humans can't fix that a Gummy Worm Jesus will. Not a single thing. Sin. What about sin? Yeah, well, let's go back to what is sin. Sin is missing the mark. Harmatia. It's a Greek term from archery, from theater. So if a guy has, archery, bows and arrows, he has an arrow, he pulls it back, and he sees the target, and he shoots, and he misses, well, you just pick up another arrow and try again. Keep practicing until you get good at it. Humans have been here for a long enough time where they know how to do things, how to fix problems, politics. These banana republics in sub-Saharan regions or in certain parts of Asia and Latin America. Easy fixes. Close all the borders to the Western countries. Like, close them permanently. And all the people who want to leave those countries are forced to go back, and they're like, you know what? We're going to get rid of these dictators, or we're going to get rid of these people that are causing problems for us. Because people, what I found about immigrants and myself too is traveling the world and stuff. You love your homeland. You don't want to leave there. Immigrants don't necessarily come to America because it's so great here. It is great here, but they come here because it's so fucked up where they come from. That's the only reason to come here. If they had the money and the education and the safety and the lack of corruption that you have in some of their countries, or that you have here, if they had all that stuff in their country, they would not come here. I knew when I was in Mexico, I knew a lot of people would come to the United States, and they were like, we don't want to go there. Why? Because they were in a great town, safe. They had an education. Their parents were making plenty of money. They made plenty of money. They were upwardly mobile in society. They're like, why would I ever want to go to the U.S.? This is my home. Why would I ever go there? That's how you solve problems. When people have what they need, a lot of the problems go away. And people tell you this fake study that was done about rats, where they took a bunch of little fat rats and they put them in a cage and they fed them all the food they wanted and they gave them all the adult rat experiences that they wanted. Kids are here. Rat intimacy that they wanted. Anyway, these little fat rats got so fat and they got so crazy they started to kill each other. Now this is what I'm going to prove to you how stupid scientists are. Okay. Okay. So is the cage that you had those rats eating and shitting and doing all the other adult rat things in? What was that their natural habitat? No. Oh, okay. Well, why do you think they were killing each other and going crazy? Did you put them in the rat native habitat where they naturally come from and give them all that stuff? No. Okay. Well, that's why they did that. So it's like, I've heard like quasi-intellectuals use these kind of studies like, well, if you give people everything they want, they'll go crazy and they'll lose their minds. It's like, give people all the drugs they want and they'll use it until their brains explode. No, they won't. There are so many studies done of crackheads that if you give them $5 to get food or $5 to get crack, they will take the $5 and go get a sandwich. And these are real crackheads, like on the street in, wherever, New York, wherever the hell they get these people, right? ApexHumanity, the geopolitical movement, is about creating a world that works. That's it. You can be Muslim in this world, and it works. You can be pagan in this world, and it works. You can be Christian in this world, and it works. You can be Hindu in this world, and it works. You can be whatever you want to be. Gay, straight, all that other stuff. You just got to make a world that works. Can we do that? Yeah, we can. And perhaps that's what the Epstein Island was all about. That's all I'm going to say. Perhaps they were going there, and the cover story was, okay, we created a world that works. This is probably not what happened, but I'm just bullshitting with you guys. But this is a cover story. Oh, we're going to say there's a bunch of little kids out here and people doing inappropriate things and blah, blah, blah. That's what it's going to be. That's what we're going to all be about. We're going to say that so they don't know that all the problems that they face, all these people doing 9-to-5s that they hate. These people, they wake up every day, every Monday morning, and they just are like, God, please, I don't want to go. But it's like so deep in their gut that they can't think about it. It's like deep sound down inside of them. And then they get up every day, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go to their 9-to-5. Oh, I hate my life, right? Imagine if like in 2 years, you never had to do that again. I mean, if you're a 9-to-5er and you don't want that. Some people love the 9-to-5. Let them have it, and the AIs have the rest. But, imagine if you were like, you know what? I just get to get up every single day and do what feels good to me. Yeah, you can do that. Oh, but what if drugging it up feels good? And what if eating donuts all day and then, defecating all over yourself feels good? Well, then you're not going to live very long. And we won't have much time for you to be around. So you'll eventually be gone. And everybody else that has a functioning brain will just continue to do what feels good to them. Like nature fixes itself all the time. All we have to do is make a world that works. And the Bible is central to that. And if you've been given a gummy worm version of the Bible, then perhaps you need to go and pick up the most important book ever written about the Bible. Hey, God, wake the fuck up. Bible wisdom you're not supposed to know about real life and the real you. Oh, it's a wonderful book. God is so wonderful. I mean, it's just so good. It's so good. It's so good. The spiritual bullshit mill. Born again Christians. Cultish Christian offshoots, like the Seventh-day Adventist. No, just joking. Adventists are great. The Buddhist offshoots. Self-help pop psychology gurus. Talk about all the gummy worm ideologies. Because look, I've been a part of this. Life is eternal. It just is, even if the human experience of it isn't. So maybe the Epstein list has our beloved president on it. But I just flew to the island. I didn't do anything there. Well, we have to release the list. What list? Let's just let it all out, Don. Let the people know what's going on behind the scenes. The people knew. You guys got to watch things like Westworld where they leak out little bits of truth. Little bits of truth. They tell you what's really going on. What if that Epstein Island had nothing to do with kids? What if this P. Diddy and baby oil stuff had nothing to do with that? Which it probably did. It's really disgusting. But what if it didn't? Okay? What if it was a bunch of like quantum computing AI bio-bred cyborgs that they had perfected? And they had replicas of every single world leader in a vial on these islands. And the cover story is there's a bunch of like prepubescents and whatever running around doing inappropriate things. Because that's a great cover. I mean, like, imagine how easy it would be to be like, and the only way that you get your Westworld AI quantum computing replica made is to go to the island and genetically and leave some of your genetic material, because they had like, it's a quarantined island, right? And only special like royalty and people like that can go. You know, it's stupid. But all I'm saying is, what I just said about this whole thing is as stupid and as real probably as what you hear in the news. So can a person be a part of that world and still be of benefit to our nation and to all that stuff? Yeah, they can. I don't expect my plumber to be a, I don't know, an excellent chicken maker. She was hot until she put out that cigarette. Kind of, not really. Anyway, I wouldn't expect a plumber to be an expert sushi chef. Sushi chef. I wouldn't expect that from it. Like, he's a plumber. That's his job. Like, I want him to be good at being a plumber. So I wouldn't expect the politicians to be exemplars of morality or anything like that. All right. I hope that serves somebody. Y'all, stay Apex.